Welcome again to Logistics and the first real assignment week. Chapter 1 is an overview and touches on most of the topics we will cover in more detail later in this course. Therefore, you may feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose right now. Have a little patience. We will soon narrow the topics down to be more manageable. Chapter 1 is intended to give you an idea of what logistics really is and the major role that it plays in all organizations. And it plays a major role in households as well. Logistics processes touch us every day. We just don't notice it. As I indicated in the introductory documents, I won't cover the textbook material again in these lectures unless I disagree with the text or I feel that a topic needs more emphasis or clarification. So this lecture points specific topics in the text that you should understand and expands on a few of those topics. You will notice that in addition to the lecture and videos, I have posted a PowerPoint presentation on Moodle. The PowerPoint comes from the author and may provide some clarification to the text material. I only posted to provide you one more aid in studying the material. Use the PowerPoint as you wish. So let's stick our toe in the ocean of logistics. We'll take the full plunge and get completely wet later on. Chapter 1. Overview of logistics. Before we get into Chapter 1 specifically, let me make an observation about the text that may help organize your study. We will cover all 14 chapters in the text. Part 1 includes the first 3 chapters and provides a general view of logistics in business. Part 2 covers chapters 5 and 6 and covers the specifics of supply chain management, which are important. And Part 3 covers the remainder of the chapters and details specific components of logistics in the supply chain. So keep in mind that we are going from very, very general down to very, very specific in the later chapters, and that will make a difference in how you understand the material and how you read the material. So what is the primary purpose of business? Any business. It's not to hire people. It's not to help the community. It's not to produce a product or a service. The primary purpose of any business is to make money. The dollars are important. Without them, it doesn't matter what products and services are produced or how useful and good they are, because without money, they can't be produced for long. It doesn't matter how many people are employed, because without profits, they won't be employed for very long. And it doesn't matter how much they help the community, because if they're not making money, they will not be in the community for very long. This book and this course is about how logistics contributes to the organization's ability to make money. Simply put, that is the purpose of business, and by default, that is the purpose of logistics. To make money or spend it efficiently defines all business functions, of which logistics is but one. Now, the text defines logistics in eloquent terms on page 4, but in simpler terms, logistics is simply moving goods from one point to another, generally moving them from point of production or point of origin through several stops to the ultimate user or customer. That may sound simple, but it is really quite complex, quite costly, and highly impactful to our daily lives. Think about the steps in the process that brought you the glass of milk you drank this morning, or the medicine you took last night, or the car you drove to class or to work. Without logistics, none of that would have been possible, or at least would have cost you a lot more money. Logistics is a part of the business process that is largely hidden and underappreciated. The logistics process is getting much more attention today as costs increase, particularly energy costs, and our methods of transportation become more complex. Page 3 of the text refers to the economic utility, possession utility, form utility, place utility, and time utility. The successful accomplishment of these elements can create or destroy a company's competitive advantage, and I would suggest that you study those carefully. A competitive advantage is that element that differentiates one product or company from another and encourages or discourages consumers to purchase. Without a competitive advantage, business is random and very unstable. A competitive advantage may also be defined by price. Lower price is generally a competitive advantage, but in many products, price is trumped by time, place, or form or possession utility. A higher price may also presume higher quality and may help define the competitive advantage. Clearly, a competitive advantage is something all companies must strive for, and is something the logistics process can create, enhance, or destroy. And we'll be talking a lot about competitive advantages in this class. Logistics has increased in importance in recent years, due in large part to the factors outlined in the text on pages 6 through 9. Take a look at those. One interesting factor contributing to logistics' increased importance is changes in consumer behavior. These changes revolve around increased expectations by consumers and more buying options for consumers. Let's face it, we expect better quality, faster delivery, lower prices, and greater selection, and on, or we'll go somewhere else. Many of these expectations are impacted by the logistics process. To a certain extent, greater expectations are driven by technological advances. Globalization, or competition on a global stage, has driven expectations and the importance of logistics. You see this theme over and over in this text. You will see it over and over in intro to business classes, marketing classes, and just about any business-related course you take. The impact of consumer expectations, technology, and the global markets is overwhelming and continuous. So how does logistics interact with normal operations of a business to create impact? Let's take a moment to look at the diagram on page 10 of the text. It would be helpful if you probably turn to page 10. You'll probably see that diagram a little better in your text and you can see it on the screen. This is an excellent depiction of the logistics flow and how it relates to daily operation in business. It serves as a good reference to help you keep the various components of the logistics process or supply chain in perspective. Think of a manufacturing organization that makes, let's say, cell phones. On the left of the flow chart, raw materials, parts, and components come in from various suppliers, either inside or outside the company. Then they must be processed, put into inventory, and ultimately sent to the factory for assembly into the finished cell phone. The factory then places the cell phones into inventory, awaiting your and thousands of other customer orders. Upon order, they are shipped to retailers and ultimately to you, the consumer. When this flow works properly, it operates without a hitch and everything flows through smoothly. However, one glitch can back up the whole system. If raw materials are delayed, cell phones can't be assembled. If the factory is hit by a power outage for 2 days, nothing is produced and raw materials inventory backs up and inventory costs increase. If a snowstorm, labor strike, or another event interferes with the warehouse and distribution operation, retailers may run out of stock. If that occurs, consumers may become impatient and instead of purchasing an iPhone, they may purchase an Android and your company loses a sale. Any of these interruptions will likely cause costs to go up and affect price or profit margin and ultimately your competitive advantage. Also, costs may be negatively affected if the price of raw materials, electricity, gasoline, taxes, etc. increases throughout the system. This is the business logistics process. It is fragile, unstable, unpredictable, volatile, and an integral part of doing business in any country or any product in any economy. We will spend our semester studying this process and all of its variables. We will also refer back to this chart often, so keep it in mind. Pages 12 through 17 details the logistical functional relationship between other functions of the company, such as finance, marketing, production, etc. Pay particular attention to the terms and definitions of cost trade-offs, the 4 P's of marketing, landed cost, stockouts, sustainable products, and marketing channels. If you don't understand these terms and concepts, please ask questions on the discussion forum or contact me for further explanation. These are important concepts that you will see again and again during this course.